Hello and welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Captain Kibs, signing on today, and today we're going to be talking about some things here. Now, one big thing that we're going to talk about firstly, before I talk about anything relating to our game, is the reason why we're doing this video, or one of the reasons. We have a lot of people who are supporting our Discord server, which has gotten it promoted to rank 2. That is awesome. That is really cool. I think that's amazing that you guys are working on the community, so kudos and thank you to all of those who are there. And even if some of them leave, we'll drop down to tier 1, but that's not a big deal. We still have spots for emojis, so if you got emoji suggestions, be sure to check out the emoji suggestions channel. I'll commission some art assets if need be for things like that. People want some of that, and we'll also be accepting ideas for just random emojis, be a little Pepe or something like that, or, you know, whatever. So feel free to drop on by and give us some suggestions. That also goes for GIF emojis. Just remember, scale 1 by 1, and that'll be fine. And that's kind of it on the Discord thing. So that's really cool. I really appreciate that, and I want to say thank you to our entire community for doing that, because it means a great deal to me to see you guys all support this Discord server in our community. It's actually really awesome to see it grow and blossom. So, the next thing we'll be discussing is going to be our game that we're working on. And, oh boy, do we have a lot of things to talk about today. Today you're going to be spoiled. So, this video also is mostly impartial thanks to all the people who support us via donations and stuff, but don't do it through the Patreon and other means. Rather, the people who've done it like $1 here, $2 there. And I know it's kind of hard because we don't have a way on YouTube to let people who donate have access to, you know, art assets and being able to see things, and it's kind of unfortunate. And so I thought that we'd do this video for you guys, because that way you'd have something to see, you know, what that money is going to. Because I figured, you know, you have a right to know. And so here we can see, this is our character, one of our main female leads. This is Princess Rhea. And we've just been getting a lot of portrait work done here, and I thought this is really cool, and I hope you guys will enjoy this. So here's the sort of portrait. This is like the in-game assets, by the way. These portraits will be kind of like in the bottom left-hand corner. They're not 100% finished because it's just a couple little pixels here and there, but they're very well done, and they're very close. Done by our lead character artist, Sala. Excellent job. Phenomenal work. Can't thank him enough for all the hard work he puts in. He earns every penny that you guys give us. So check out this. So it's gonna be animated. Yes, not like super animated, because again we don't have that amount of time and budget. And we would like to get the game done, but I think just the subtle idea of just having a blink will be super handy. And we have tons of portraits to go through today. Not for any more characters. What we're doing right now, in terms of our game development, so you guys are aware, is we're focusing on getting all the assets done for a single character, and this has been a fairly long process. A single character comprises of a lot of art assets, besides just the conceptual work in getting the character done, because a character is much more complex than that. And these characters are, well, I'm hoping they're going to be the best I can ever make. Put a lot of work into these people. Here's another one. This is her using her mixers, or her magic, as we'll call it. And we wanted to do a way to demonstrate like how the power works. I can kind of see that. So you can see the sort of glow in the eyes. Nothing too exaggerative. You can see that there's some battle damage here, which is cool. And there's going to be different variants as well we'll go through. But I thought that was cool. So that's sort of how the blinks are going to look in-game. No bobbing, no weaving, no 2D live things, because I think it affects the image too much. It degrades the quality overall. And I kind of want to keep this quality as high production value as possible for you guys, because I think it's really cool. And that's just amazing that we were able to get the blinking animations, and I was so surprised. I originally thought we were just going to have still frames, and you know, that's totally awesome. With the art as styles we have and the artists we have, it's incredible. But to see then that we've gone the extra step, and Sala took the extra step, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do the animations pro bono, and I'm like, wow, that's actually fucking amazing. So kudos to Salaman, he works very hard. Now here's a animation you've probably seen on Reddit. This, I know, it's a little tiny. You can check the Discord server for the direct link. It'll be dropped in the Mixers Legends of Terrestria for the Reddit. And here you can see our damage. So there's a couple things I want to do with damage. Now there's a lot more damage effects that are in progress, but there's a lot of things that, again, most of what we're talking about is damage effects and just visual effects to make it punchy, because I want the combat to feel good. I want it to feel, you know, things are progressing and changing on this battlefield. So you can see that she's struck, but, she shakes her head, shakes it off, and then she just resumes her pose. She's like, like that slide animation with the dirt kicking up like that. That's cool. I find that amazing. This is done by Cashew, our animator. Fantastic work. There's a few more effects, though, we're probably going to add later on, such as when she's struck, there'll be a damage effect like blood or something like that, because this game will have blood. Do not worry. I do not know how gory we're going to make the game, but I imagine it'll have some gore, some visceral carnage stuff going on. So it's not going to be super clean, because again, it's combat, it's brutal. Terrestria's not a nice place. But yes, you can see she takes that damage. That's very good animation work. That's fucking fantastic. I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, there'll be different damage effects as well, or states. And we're probably going to be able to do one state per character. There's so many characters to do, and so many. And this, I'm not talking just about party characters. I'm talking about all characters. Because imagine that every character needs to share the same states and same asset count. There's exceptions to that rule if, like, oh, this character doesn't ever receive dialogue. Well, we're not going to commission, an excess amount of dialogue portraits because there's no production need for it. And so we'll only commission the assets we absolutely need, because this game is already astronomically expensive. It's best not to delay it any further, because it's going to be a while. A long while at this rate, but it's a while that's every day is getting closer and closer. That's so cool. But back to what I was saying. So, the idle pose that she has, or combat idle pose, what we want to do, and what we might not end up doing, it depends on if it works or if it doesn't, is switch it to a damage state, or on the 50% margin or something like that, or maybe 75%. It's just indicators to give the player for impact. It's like when she's struck, she shakes a little bit. It's a way to make it more punchy. It'll match up more with the sound effects as time goes on. And it'll create little blood splatters and persistent battlefield scar. Like nothing revolutionary. It's stuff games have already had. But we'll have persistent effects and persistent corpses and things like that. And, of course, if main characters are knocked out, they'll be incapacitated. You will be punished. We're not sure how. We don't want to be cruel because it's a turn-based tactical RPG, so losing a character, having him go down, like, okay, to go down. But how can we punish you without making it too grating? Because there are too many characters where we can't just have characters die because it's story-centric. Without having key plot points where they have the option to die, making it, scripted in the format. Because if you don't, it'll create... it'll be the most inconsistent thing ever. If you remember Morrowind, when you killed too many NPCs or certain NPCs, like, you've broken the game. That would be basically what would happen because of how scripting in this game would work. It's just interesting to me that we're not going to do it that way, but I think we're going to use like an injury table, and so every injury you take, you'll be able to have Aya maybe heal one or something like that. This is, again, hypothetical. We'll be testing these formulas. These are off combat. We're mostly focusing on combat right now. So yeah, you'll get injuries, and injuries will heal, and it'll disencourage you from getting injuries, because the more characters that get injuries, the less you can heal, because you can only heal so many per day. Or something like that. So there'll be a way to balance it out so that you will feel like, every injury is a big deal. So you're like, I don't want to get an injury, so I'm not going to go down. But it's one of those things that's in the testing phase, or on the list of things to be tested. Because that is a campaign map feature. I guess you could say campaign map. So moving on to the next one. Here we have that blinky. Wait, I just scrolled backwards. I was like, wait, huh? Here we got a little concept from Carlita. I'm not going to say what that is, or you're never going to know. But we are on the phase of finally moving to the monsters of Terrestria. So we're taking a break from doing all the humanoid races and starting to do some of the monster races, just so we can get an idea. So here's the concept of a monster. I'm not going to say what it is. But you can just sort of see the silhouettes. And we're going to be trying to do some very creepy things. Terrestria, like I said, is a horrible, horrible place. It's not a place of happiness. It is a very dark place, and it's going to be interesting, especially with the aesthetic we have, because I feel like the whole bait and switch, like, anime girl cover art, people are like, oh, so cute, and I'm like, sucker, you're gonna be in for a surprise. At least I hope so. A good one at that. It's gonna be nice and combat-y. I forget to scroll back to scroll forward. So, okay, now we're moving on to the well, let's... I know it's it may not look like much, but getting the silhouette concepts down for the monster types that we're crafting for the various biomes and regions of Astrian, how they evolve and how they, came to be, took a long time and a lot of work. And we have a long way to go, a very, very long way to go. But I thought it was cool to see Terrestria's world come to life. We've seen people, you've seen some pictures of cultures and some other society developments. You haven't seen too much about the governmental and other, religious side of things and how magic directly works. Know that it is pretty much done on the magic side, and the lore Bible has the rule set. The universal laws have been done for a long time. But sadly, I'll never be able to tell you the universal laws, because that's one of those great mysteries that you should never tell the player, in my opinion. It's important that the characters understand the laws, or more so discover the laws, because nobody really knows what the boundaries of what space you can do in space. We have an idea, but we don't really know for sure. So through experience and through showing, you'll see those boundaries and limitations exposed, as well as any misconceptions in lore about certain aspects, being disproven. Like, turns out this was fake, or this was not true, or it was true, or partially correct. The great mystery unfolds. So now we'll be talking about damaged portraits, because this has been a lot of things Sal has been pumping out like crazy, by the by. So here we'll go through the different variations, and each damage variation, there's about 4 in total. So as your characters are damaged, all characters will have these portraits. They get progressively sadder. Sal, you're a strong man. He felt actually pretty bad about drawing the damage on the portraits for these characters, because they're kind of like, we grow to love these characters because we work on them, we toil on them, they do art for them, and we write them. And the biggest, I think, thing is Sal had to learn the concept of, we have to hurt them, we have to hurt them bad. I know it sounds horrible, but it's a story and it's fictitious, so it doesn't really matter. But the thing is, it's important to know that, at the end of the day, it's fake. Come on, Sal, you're strong, lad. I'm teasing. We were just giving him a little bit of crap. He's a good lad. But yeah, you can see the portrait gets slowly more damaged. One of our big inspirations for this, or one of my personal big inspirations, was actually the original classic Doom game when I played it as a little kid. Because they released classic Doom on the 360, and that's when I really got to discover what it was. Because again, I was sort of past that generation. I had the original Doom already, but I didn't know how to get it to work on my Windows XP computer at the time as a little child. I think by then I Windows Vista or 7 was the thing. But then they re-released Doom Arcade on the Xbox 360 Arcade, and I downloaded it, played it, and loved the ever-living shit out of it. Played it with friends over and over and over and over and over again. So much fun. Mostly played it with my dad because he grew up with that game. And we'd draw little maps of where all the treasure was and stuff. That was so cool. But I digress here. And I was heavily inspired by the damaged portraits, because I think they learned something back then that was genius. Like having an impact. So character damaged, as it gets progressively worse, it's like, let's scroll back a little bit. They're not in perfect order, I'm sorry. So it's like, full health, 25%, 30% or 40%, whatever. We'll change those numbers, bounce around. And then 70% or whatever. As things get worse, this is when damage is occurring. She blinks. So there's different various states. There's when she attacks, her regular angry expression as she goes into battle. Then her attack animation. Then our expression portrait, then her damage portrait, receiving damage portrait, and different states of it. Oh, it's so cool. I think this makes this character even more tough, because despite the injury, despite the pain, she carries on through it all. And I think that's reflective of all the characters, despite the overwhelming burdens that they carry and all the hardships that they've endured and will endure, and sacrifices that they'll have to make, not just for their nation state or their personal beliefs, but for each other as they slowly become a family. All those hardships, all that pain, all that misery. But it's all to protect something so pure. I love that. So many will die. So many will fucking die. I'm sorry. So, I'm kidding. I would never tell you if they're all gonna die. That's up to you. Oh, but that's so cool, isn't it? Oh, man. I feel a little bad about it, too. Oh, you grow to love these characters, but in order to truly love them, you must hurt them in ways that you can't possibly conceive. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think we're doing an excellent job. I think the entire team is doing crazy amounts of work. I'm surprised. This year, 2020, we're off to our new roaring 20s. I have a good feeling about this decade, a very good feeling. We've hit it off to such a pleasant start, to such an amazing start. Both on the YouTube, both on the community, both on everything. Everything's going too well, almost. But we will continue to pour, I'll continue to pour as much money and funds as I can into it, and those donations that you guys do, which bear in mind, you don't have to do. Somebody told me, like, oh, I want to donate because I want to help make sure that the game gets made. Don't worry. I'll get the game done, no matter the cost. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do that, so it's not a big deal. But we appreciate the support more than you could ever know. But it's not necessary, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, this is something I truly want as well, so we'll get it done. And just like I mentioned a while ago, and I'll keep mentioning this again and again, if you have donated, please keep your receipts. With the Patreon or anything like that, keep your receipts, because you know how I am. I'm terrible at managing like memory of names and stuff like that. I can't even remember my own brother's name. It's terrible. I'm cursed. But if you could, keep those receipts, because when the game is closer to being released, I want to reimburse you in some way for your support. So you'll be getting a copy, or at the very least, like a big discount if you have donated a little bit, but not the full price. We'll work out the kinks as time goes on. So don't take that 100% until we have it all ironed out. That's because right now the focus is primarily on making the damn thing first before we do that. But I just want to remind everyone to please keep your receipts, so that we can do something for you at the very least, even if it's like $2. I want everyone to have something for it, because every penny, or not even $2, if it's a dollar, just I don't even know what the limit is for donating. I've only done it a couple of times myself, because most of the time I'm like, oh, I'd love to support this creator, except I'm like, yeah, but like my team needs my money more than that. Makes me sad. This is so cool. We are gonna go places, guys. We're gonna fucking be something special. It's so exciting. We're not gonna be like I don't know if we'll be like the most amazing thing ever, but like I feel like we're pretty amazing. I feel like we're pretty fucking cool. This is so cool. Now there's another matter to address. So the BattleTech lore video, the video that's pretty much done, but isn't. Tax season. I think I told people already. Tax season was prevented me from commissioning new art assets, and just other things have gotten in the way. It is on the list of things to do, and I want to do it very badly, because I'd like to continue doing the BattleTech lore. I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoy writing our lore, but I think that one of the hardest things for me when working on Legends of Terrestria is I can't tell you, and I never will tell you any of it, because that's not how you do it. Like, you don't tell them. And so it's like, you can hint or leak or some little tiny things and details. If that, by the way, not really. Not really at all. Don't do that. If you're thinking about developing a game, don't leak story bits, especially in a story-centric game. But you can give ideas and concepts. I'd say that much. Ideas and concepts and themes, to give an idea. Like, when I generally recruit people into the team, I give them like the basic rundown of the story, and it's always super. I'm not sure if they're just saying that because they want to, get paid to do art and stuff, but it's always really confidence boosting when you're like, oh, that sounds really amazing, or that sounds really cool. I'm like, oh god, now I hope it really is. I hope it's executed as well as I would like it to be. Because if this is executed as well as I'd like it to be, fuck. Mixers to me is much more than just a single thing. It is a greater universe, and always has been. It's just like, imagine Star Wars or Warhammer or StarCraft or World of Warcraft or whatever, or the Warcraft universe. Any of those universes, the Tolkien universe. They all started out small. And what I have in plans and ideas for this one, and again, these are just daydreaming things, really. Not like they're guaranteed to happen, because first we have to get done with one before we can even think about the next one, right? But, you know, you can't help but think. And I always have greater schemes and plans in mind. I just hope I get to live to see them all. It's taken so long, but honestly, it's worth it. It's worth it every single step of the way. So fucking cool. So fucking cool indeed. So, one thing we'll move back to, Discord server. Be sure to join it if you already haven't. Our community is growing, and it's always growing. It's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. That's kind of it for that. For the game, anything else really to say? Like, oh man, I wish we could show you, but we can't. Can't, not for a long, long time. Until it's all covered in beautiful, beautiful art. No bare bones. You'll get to see that. Oh, if you could see how far we've come from what we were like last year. Oh, it's insane. It's insane. I'm just curious to see how. I've never done something like this before. And funding out of your pocket, like, and I know a lot of indies think about doing like Kickstarter and stuff, but one of the things I gotta say concerns with that is, what if you don't make the goal? Then what? And on top of that, that adds too many extra obligations to backers and stuff like that. And different reward tiers. And honestly, I don't want to cut corners. I'm greedy. I want to do everything and everything I can. No cut corners, a complete, total game. And if we ever do expansion packs, it'll be an expansion fucking pack. I mean, plot and narrative-wise, I could think of billions of different options. It's a problem when you spend way too much time writing and thinking about this universe. You just begin to realize how limitlessly expansive it is. And any universe is, really. Just gotta have the right mindset. That is so fucking cool. Holy shit. This is gonna be fucking incredible. At least the journey has been amazing thus far, and I think it'll be always amazing despite where we end up at the end of the day. This is fucking cool. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, it's painful. You have no idea it's painful. Oh. But either or, that I think wraps up this video. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy our content and continue to enjoy it. If you haven't already, please check the Discord server, because we're always welcoming to new lads and lasses. There are many of you, and there will be probably many more of you savage little creatures. And our moderation team can, I'm sure, bear the burden. No, I kid. I kid. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.